Being a mom is a thankless job. Think of everything that we do. We're chauffeurs, cooks, housekeepers, tutors, organizers, and in some cases, even therapists. Hello, and welcome to Living Well with Robin Stoloff, empowering you to live a healthier life. Be sure to like the program and subscribe, and I'll keep you updated on my most recent episode. So I'm really excited about this today because we have two moms that developed a program to help other mothers to live a better, healthier, more energetic, more confident life. Because as we know, it can really be draining being a mother. So without further ado, welcome to Trina and Tara O'Brien. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, Robin. Thank you,
Thanks for
Robin.
having us.
This is so exciting because I think there's a lot of women out there listening to this thinking, I could really use this help. Tell us how you developed the program. Give us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks again for having us. I am Tara, and Trina and I are partners in life and partners in business. We have soon to be 8-year-old boy-girl twins. So we are juggling a lot, just like I'm sure a lot of your listeners are. And look, I think as moms, it's so easy to put everybody else first, and we put ourselves on the back burner constantly. And it does not matter if you've just had a little newborn or you're sending your kids off to college. That entire process and all the way through, everybody else comes first. And as a mom, most of us lose energy and confidence in ourselves. And as Trina always says, I just want 5 minutes for a hot shower.
Yeah, that is true. Or a little bathroom time or just a little me time, something, it's not easy. So you both developed this program. You have backgrounds in leadership. You're both trained massage therapists. You're D1 and D2 athletes, former soccer players. So you have the whole package of wanting to live a healthy lifestyle and wanting to achieve and do what you're doing well. And being a mother probably is, I would say it's the most important job that we could ever have.
Yes. So, I mean, really what happened, so you guys can have a picture of like why and how did this come to fruition, was I was working in corporate America at the time. It was right after having the kids. And I will never forget this night. I left the office. It was 5:30. And here I was after working all day. I was going home to the job of mom, and I was exhausted. And I literally was driving home. I slammed my hands on the steering wheel. I pulled over on the side of the road. I was shaking and hysterical crying. And the cut to, because that could be an hour story, is I walked in the door and I was hysterical crying. And Trina's like, thought something was wrong or I got into an accident. And I was like, we can't keep doing this. And I just had a full mom meltdown. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. And we looked for a program for moms because we did not know what to do. We noticed that our relationship was suffering, our fitness, our health, our everything started to suffer. And we just couldn't find something. And a couple of days later, we looked at each other and we said, we can do this. So we started implementing healthy lifestyle changes that we already knew. And you mentioned, like, this is how we both grew up, and we were massage therapists and played soccer and prior to kids. So the cut to, Robin, is it took some time and expertise, a lot of money, a lot of trainers, a lot of masterminds, and we were able to put together Power Mom. And 6 years in the making, I would say, maybe using the word perfect is a little tough, but I've almost perfected the process for moms.
That is incredible. So what is the program about, and how have you helped women in, just being a mom and just being a better person?
Absolutely. So we have Power Mom VIP, and in that is something called the daily practice. And it's exactly what it says. It's the Power Mom daily practice. And what that is made up of is 4 power components that moms can start plugging into immediately. And so we could quickly go through what those are, so you have an idea of what that means. And power component number 1 is called building you, because as I mentioned earlier, as moms, we put ourselves on the back burner. And until you truly love yourself and feel like you're making choices and things for you, it is so hard to really love others. And sometimes you do it begrudgingly. So we take where you are today, which Trina and I call kind of your point A, and we really pull the greatness out of you to get to that point B. All of the things that you desire to do, whether they're goals or just minor tasks throughout the week, that it's, I need to do this. And we build a roadmap for you to get to your 2.0 version.
That's incredible. And what is the biggest problem? I'm sure it's different for every mother, but what are the biggest stumbling blocks for women that you hear about?
They do not have time for themselves, and they have no energy to do the things that we'll, continue to talk about here. And those are the two biggest things.
Yeah. And what are the next components?
So fueling you is component number 2. And that is literally how you can keep nutrition so simple without sitting in the corner, kind of counting points and calories. We keep this so easy for you and have the Power Mom Nutrition Protocol. And a lot of this does revolve around planning, but it is making basic, simple, healthy choices throughout the day and making sure that your family is on board. We have a cool system for kids we call red, yellow, green light. And it's green lights are go for it. Eat all you want. Go to town on the grapes and the peppers and all the fruits and vegetables you can. Yellow lights are those, hey, slow down a little bit here on
Right.
processed. And we all know those red light foods. And we joke around that we run red lights every now and again, which is fine. But essentially, it's those red light foods is really where we want to start to cut out on. And look, our kids are going to be 8 and they are trained to understand, hey, mom, is this a red light or yellow light food?
Oh, I love that.
Really cool.
That is really cool. My husband and I have always made an effort to teach our kids healthy eating habits. Not that we haven't had an ice cream cone every now and again, but we really want to emphasize that. And I think also modeling it as well. I've always said you really can't tell your kids not to smoke with a cigarette hanging out of your mouth. You've got to model it as well. So I'm sure that's something that you want to teach your moms. You have to eat healthy as well as your kids because they see what you do. They see what we do more than we think. They watch what we do. They really do.
And I think what we've really perfected is how to keep it simple and for a mom to understand what does healthy mean, because that is a really broad term and it gets thrown around a lot. And so what we've done is we've just made it very simple. And we, of course, share, different meal plans and different meal ideas, but ultimately it's as fresh as possible, as nutritionally dense as possible. And we all know we're about to put the donut in the mouth and we get this feeling and there's satisfaction. And so we really help talk about the psychology of why that's happening and when that's fine, right? When that red light is fine to run. I mean, you're speeding and you got to get through the stop sign sometimes, but
Like, I didn't say that.
I don't know if I want to drive with Tara. But really understanding the psychology of the why behind all of those choices.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's very important because I think I've done so many episodes on mindless eating, basically, and food and how we don't eat just when we're hungry. We eat for so many reasons, stressed out, bored. It's attached to so many emotions. And just to be aware of it before you actually put something in your mouth is just can open so many doors for people, I think, just having their eyes open to it.
I like to even say, is this building my body up or is this breaking my body down? And then you can make a decision on what you're willing to do in that moment.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there are times that you say, okay, I'm just going to go for it, but it shouldn't be every single day of your life. I mean, we know that. And so what else do you teach?
Yeah, so the third power component is training you. And this is really how to quickly and effectively get real results. And it doesn't mean, because most of us don't have hours and hours and hours to spend at the gym. So how do you get in? How do you get out? How do you use your home as your workout space? How do you use your environment as your workout space? And a lot of the things we help moms through, and sometimes people say, hey, that's a little tough, is the excuses, right? Because there's a lot of excuses that I'm not in an environment to run. I'm not in an environment to do these things. So what we do is we really help lay out a non-cookie cutter plan for you to be able to say, how do I plan my meals? When am I able to get my exercise in? When am I able to spend that me time for the building you? And we always say, yes, in our program, we give you the workouts that we know get real results because we're living proof of those. But we need you to start simple. We need you to start doing something that you can say on a consistent basis. This is a non-negotiable. I am going to walk for 20 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. Something simple where you know that you're getting those benefits. And it's the consistency and the habit building that we really like to work on.
That is just vital to anybody's energy, but especially a mom's. And I love saying, just start small, because sometimes it's overwhelming for someone who hasn't worked out in a while, especially if they're busy with the kids. But my saying is just get your sneakers on. That's the first step. Just get
Yeah.
your sneakers on, and then you're going to go from there. But you're right. Just try to incorporate into your day. Everybody can squeeze in 20 minutes here or there. You'll find the time. And a lot of times I love seeing people. I live, down the shore, so I see people jogging on the boardwalk with their pushing their babies, and sometimes there's twins.
Yes.
They're pushing,
Yeah.
they're jogging, and it just makes me feel happy to see that they've incorporated their kids into their workout routine. That's just the way it is. And I've seen people online doing sit-ups, holding their babies in their hands, their babies, their weights. So there's ways to do it if you really want to.
It is possible. Yes.
Absolutely. And so what's the next one?
Yeah. So the fourth power component is probably our favorite, and it's called extending you. And this is really after we build you up to look in the mirror and go, I love who I am, right? We show you how to create and continue those deep connections with the ones that you love, and making sure that your relationships around you are solid and healthy and strong. The biggest tip that I can give your listeners in this component is to start giving hugs.
Mm.
Start hugging, because what happens is there's this chemical reaction with the oxytocin in your body that helps just bond. And we say 8 to 12 hugs every single day. And because you're not doing that today. I guarantee you, most people are not doing that today. And if you look at your life, that's not happening. Set your watch 8 to 10 times a day, or your phone. And when it buzzes, go give someone a hug.
Anyone at all.
anyone who's there. And people are going to think you're crazy in the beginning. But you will start to reap the rewards and the benefits, and you'll start to see those relationships increase.
I love it. Whether it's your spouse, whether it's your children, right? We are big huggers in my family. Sometimes almost embarrassingly so. But my son is 210 pounds now. I have to reach up to grab him to hug him. And you know what? I don't care, because he's still my baby. I don't care how big he gets. A 22-year-old baby. But it is really important, and it just transmits so much love when you hug someone. It really does. And even with your spouse, sometimes when people come home from work, hey, how you doing? Should always give a hug and a kiss. It just should be part of your routine. It's just a nice thing to do.
Yeah. And we've had moms, because they report back into us, right? And the first part is like the facts. So the facts don't lie. Are you really drinking the water? You're not drinking the water. Are you really giving the hugs? You're not. Well, I think I'm giving the hugs. And then it's no, really log just in the beginning. Are you giving these? Well, I gave 2 or 3 or 0. And it's truly, truly amazing. And so I think, as people start sort of tracking what they're really doing versus what they think they're doing, that's where some of the transformation starts to take place.
Yeah, that's such a great tip. I love that. It does make everybody feel good to get a hug, and it kind of disarms people. Even a little kid, they could be crying or screaming. You just grab them and hug them, and it has to calm them down, So tell me how you incorporate this in your lives, what you do on a daily basis, and about some of the folks that you've helped, some of the ladies you've helped.
Yeah, so I'm a big proponent of getting up in the morning and creating that time in the space in the morning. One of the things I love about the Power Bomb is we look at everybody's situations specifically, because I'm able to create this time and space in the morning. But that doesn't mean everybody can. So we do look at that, but we can still find time for everyone to get the things done that they need to. But for me personally, I like to get up early, and I started getting up about an hour earlier. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago. But what I did was I did it small. And what I mean by that is, if I had to be up by 7 originally, I started giving it at 6:50. And then I started giving it at 6:40. And then I created an hour. And the reason I got to an hour is I loved the time for myself so much. So I get up, I go to the bathroom, I do a meditation. I always spend that me time. I do meditation, listening to books, journaling, writing out my top priorities for the day. And that's how I start off my day. And then I make sure I get my workout in. And by that time, the things are starting to move around the house, but I always already feel great about myself and what I'm doing. And then I get up and I make the kids, we do shakes in the morning. So we do the shakes, and that's where the extending you part comes. I'm now able to be the best I am right off in the morning for my kids and for my family. And being that example, you talk about being the example. That's a big piece of the extending you is look
Mhm.
at what I'm doing and you're going to follow what I'm doing. And kids are so much more empowered. My kids help me make the shakes, or they help me make the oatmeal, whatever it is we're doing that morning. And so for me, that right from the get-go, I'm already incorporating our daily practice right from the morning.
I love that idea. I'm going to be honest, I've never been a morning person. I'm a night person. I come awake, even when I was a kid, 11 o'clock at night, let's go. And mornings I'm draggy, but I really want to try to change that. And sometimes it's tough if that's not your nature. If your nature is a night person, you got to really work on that. But I've talked to so many people who've said that is that golden hour. They call it the miracle morning. I think there's a book on that.
Yeah.
That time right there is so valuable because it sets your tone for the rest of your day. You described what you do in that hour. That's more than most people do in an entire day.
Yeah.
Robin, she really does do this every single day. And none of us are perfect. And we do live the daily practice every single day. And that's how we know it works and the results come. And so Trina's example helps me. And so I've been getting up little by little, earlier and earlier. Just this morning, she goes, that was an early morning run. Literally.
True story.
And it's because I'm like you. I'm like, come on, we've got to work on this thing. She's like, I'm going to bed. But yes.
My husband gets up early and he goes to bed early, and it's like we kind of pass each other sometimes, but he's
clarity, and Trina said it, and I think this is very important for the listeners, is some people are nurses and doctors and firefighters and police officers, whatever. These people may be needing to be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning. So getting up at 3 is like, these things are not realistic, right? So I love what we do, and we call it your weekly game plan. And we look at your week and what your life looks like and not try and drop it into a mold.
Yes. Now, how do you work it? Do you say, okay, so a mom comes to you and she needs some help. What's your first step? How do you work it with her?
Yeah. So essentially, we first do a call and to understand where that mom is today and if we can help them. Because if we can't, and we can't help everybody, we'll give you every resource under the sun that we know for you to go get the help. If we feel like we can help you, the very first thing we do is what I mentioned before, but we go through the facts and we understand what the baseline is that we're working with to then know how we measure this 8, 12 weeks down the road to understand, are we progressing and what are the positive changes that we're seeing? And the very second thing is understanding what that mom's life looks like today. How can we help change it and, give and take in different areas, and literally write out the weekly game plan. That is exactly what it's called. And some people love a planner on Google or on paper or on your phone. And we are able to work through that to say, what are the non-negotiables? What are the things that you are not negotiating? And these things are getting done every single day. And we'll fill in that white space with the rest of the stuff.
I really, really like that, because some people don't even do that. They just get up and do what they have to do every day, but not really looking at the big picture of where can I fit this in that I need to do, specific things in my life. So give me an example of a mom that you helped and what her life was like and how it's changed since she's worked with you.
Yeah, so it's been great over the last 6 years. We've been so blessed to work with, hundreds of moms. And the number one thing I said earlier is me time and energy. And we have a woman named Rachel. She just had another baby. She has a 3-year-old, and she says, and this is verbatim, and I hope it's okay that I pulled this up for you, but literally it's like the me time is the biggest factor. She said, I feel that during that time, I am experiencing personal growth and learning life lessons. So if you picture her with a brand new baby and a 2 or 3-year-old, I think she has, right? She says, I feel more confident in the past weeks, especially with my big aha moments. I feel more empowered and more confident. And I really do think that is pretty much the thing. And people sometimes don't know they need it, right?
Yes.
Starting to see these results when they go, let me reflect a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, where was I at? And wow, look where I'm at now.
Yeah. Because as I mentioned, we do a lot of jobs as moms, it's would be a 6-figure salary if we got paid. So it's really
pushing $1 million.
It's really tough to try to fit in that me time. And I almost forget because I don't have babies anymore, but you're a mom forever. My kids are both in college now, but I still, and their mother, and I'm still concerned about them. And I still want to show up as the best person and the healthiest version of myself.
Yeah.
Because, you want to take care of yourself. You want to be there for your kids, especially as I'm getting older now. I want to make sure I'm there for them. So if you had to say like 4 simple tips as we wrap up that someone could take away from this, because there is a lot of information here, what would you say are the best things we could do right now?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you 5, because the first one would be, if
Okay.
you're listening to this, because if they're listening to this, just take a deep breath, because it does sound like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do first? And you can be so overwhelmed, as you just said. So I'll go through really quick in the 4 components. What's the one thing that you could start doing in the building you component? Remember, where we take you from your A to B. If you want to start doing this tomorrow, 5 to 10 minutes, 0 electronics, no noise. Create 5 to 10 minutes of time to either journal, meditate, walk, garden, sit outside with a cup of coffee, a tea, enjoy the nature and anything that you have around you. Carve out that time, and you are going to start to see the calmness that you enter your day with. That would be in building you. So right away, there's no reason anybody can't do that tomorrow. In fueling you, water. It is going to be one of the, there you go. Okay.
It's water, I swear.
It is the essence of our being. And I cannot tell you how many moms we talk to on a weekly basis that it really doesn't even cross their mind. And so we can sit here saying, yeah, we know this because we've done the research. We understand the benefits of it. If you don't know that, don't feel bad. You're in the majority and not the minority. Yes. And the tip here is take your body weight, no matter what it is. If you are 200 pounds today, you drink 100 ounces of water every single day. That can start tomorrow.
Yes.
Tip number 3 in the training you, I said it earlier and I'll repeat it because it's worth repeating. Find something that you will start doing on a consistent basis. And if it is just walking for 20 minutes, if it's walking with your kids, if it's, jumping up and down in the house, like just start doing something that you're going to do consistently. In the Power Mom VIP program, we give you the workouts that we know effectively get results. But if that's not what they're ready for and they're just ready to start implementing something, it just needs to be consistent. Play tennis, pickleball, run, swim, go do something that you say, non-negotiable. I'm going to do this starting tomorrow.
And find something you like. That's what I've always said to people. If you hate jogging, don't jog.
Don't jog.
Other ways to get fit.
Yeah, you're not going to do it, right? And then the 4th one is extending you. And I already gave the tip earlier, is the hugs. Go, set the alarm, but actually do it, because there's a difference between taking all this in and everyone can just be listening right now and then do nothing tomorrow. Like, oh, that was a great episode. Those were great tips. And then you don't put it into action, right? Start doing these things and the rewards will just be phenomenal. And
absolutely.
Those are all free, right?
Yeah, that's what I say. Nothing that we said is going to cost you anything. Time,
no, absolutely not.
10 minutes, water.
Simple tips.
Yes.
Water, take a little bit of time, start being in command, I guess is the word. Instead of letting time and things overwhelm you and overtake you, you sort of have to grab the reins and take a little bit more control of things yourself. And I think that's probably what you're teaching a lot of moms, because it is easy to get wrapped up. You got laundry, you got driving, you're doing so many different things. And especially for a mom that works. A mom that works comes home exhausted. And now there's dinner, there's, helping kids with homework. There's, all of this, bath, you're exhausted. And then you just get back on that treadmill again the next day. So I think your tips are really, well taken. If you can just take that little bit of time and stop and look at your life and see where you can fit in some of that time for yourself, just makes all the difference.
One of the things I love about the daily practice too, there's two things I'll add to that is number one, it allows you to really communicate what your needs are to your family. Hey, this is what I'm going to do. I can tell you when if my son comes down and he sees that I'm meditating, he knows to let me be. Or there have been times I brought him in and I'm starting to teach him about meditation, let him listen in. So I'm being that example. And the other thing is, we all go on vacation. We all lose track of where we've been within our journey and what we're doing. And the daily practice, you can step right back into it. You come home from that vacation, you put your stuff away, and tomorrow morning I'm getting up, and you already know what it is that you need to be doing if you've been doing that for a while. So those are the things I love about the daily practice.
They're not just really tips for moms. These can be tips for anyone. I mean, it's just life tips. These are just things we should be doing anyway. So really, really good stuff. I just love what you're doing. So if someone's listening, they want to learn a little bit more, where can they go?
Absolutely. So the best place to go is to our website. It's powermom.co. So www.powermom.co. And all our social channels will be there, and you can link up with us.
And you'll do a discovery call and see if it's the right fit. You'll explain the whole program.
That's correct.
I love it. That is really great. Thank you so much, Trina and Tara O'Brien of Power Mom.
Thanks,
Yes.
Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
And thank you for joining me today for Living Well with Robin Stoloff, empowering you to live a healthier life. Hope you'll join me again for my next episode. Again, please remember to subscribe, and I'll keep you updated when the next one drops. So thank you for being here, and keep living well.